Check, check, check. Check. Let it rain. Pour it out. Let it rain. Pour it out. Let it rain. Pour it out. Let's get it. 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 Let it rain. Pour it out. Let it rain. Pour it out. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. I am Coach Gene Clemons, New York Giants on SI. That's where you get all of your New York Giants news and information from. Make sure you go over there, check out everything we're doing on the New York Giants on SI channel. Also, make sure that you hit that subscribe button over here on the New York Giants on SI YouTube page. We're trying to get to 3,000 subs. right? Like that's the goal. 3,000 subs before we get out of here, before it's over for us here at the Senior Bowl. I'm sorry, not the Senior Bowl, but here at the Super Bowl. My brain's all messed up. Right now we are at 2,938 subs. So if you are joining us on X and you have not subscribed to the New York Giants on SI because you have not subscribed to make sure that you catch every episode of A Giant Issue, then you need to do so right now. I told you guys I'd be coming and hitting you live every day, and I'm trying to keep my word. It is a little bit more difficult to be live with so many people in the spot right now because the Wi-Fi and the internet bandwidth is just can't support all of these devices, and so sometimes it's a little bit tricky. But if you see the signal going a little murky, as long as you can still hear me, I'm gonna be talking that talk. So I appreciate that everybody that joined me yesterday. I appreciate all of you that are joining me right now and everybody that will be joining me over the duration of this broadcast. I wanted to come back because I wanted to talk about the hiring of Dawn Aponte as the VP of football operations, right? And it's crazy because my brain goes multiple places when it comes to this hire. Like, I'm just going to take you through what my brain did the moment I saw the public, press releases coming out. The first thing I said, this was the first thing, I went directly to the cynical brain, right? I went directly to the cynical brain. And I'm being honest here, right? I want you guys to know, full transparency, I am being honest. The first thing I thought when I heard that Dawn Aponte was being hired as the senior VP of football operations, the first thing I thought was, man, that is really convenient with all of this Tish stuff going on. Like, it's really convenient to get the attention off of your owner and some of his past misdeeds, the smut that's on his name right now. It's really smart. I mean, if I have, for lack of a better word, smart, savvy, whatever you want to call it, to get this announcement out, bring her in, so that hopefully people stop talking about Tish, right? Like, that was the first place my brain went. And then because my brain went there, I then went, well, like, would she have gotten this job if that wasn't the case, right? Would she have gotten this job if that wasn't the case? And then I came back to this. I went, doesn't matter how she got the job. She got the job, right? It doesn't matter how you get the job. It matters what you do when you get the job. So then I remember her from different stops, but I couldn't remember like what it was like. And so I've seen some people talking about the hire and what they think of the hire, whether they like the hire, whether they don't like the hire. Like, I've heard people talking. And so I was like, well, I have some thoughts. Let me go ahead and give my thoughts on what was going on with this hire. Because the first thing, again, was, convenient. And then the next thought was, what is, what is Joe Shane's job again? Like, if we're taking away the final say and the ultimate stamp of this is the person I want, if that's going to be in the head of the hands of the head coach, and now you're bringing in Dawn Aponte, who has a reputation for being good at certain things. If that's now not what Joe Shane is going to be doing, then the question becomes, what is Joe Shane's job? Like, what is he actually going to be in charge of doing? Here's why I'm fly with this hire. Number one, I think women, especially when we're talking about front office jobs, I think that they are just as qualified, right? I don't think you have much of a difference when it comes to these front office jobs between what a man can do and what a woman can do in that same role. Like I'm convinced of it, right? Like I'm convinced of it. Like because most of these men in these front office jobs, they don't come from sports. They don't come from anything that even like resembles sports. A lot of these guys went to, business school. They might have went to economics, have an economics major. They might have an analytics degree, like that's what they have. Right. And so if that's the case, and these guys are coming into these roles with no prior football experience and they're able to ascend up the ladder, then why in the heck wouldn't a woman be able to do the same thing the same way? Shout out to Juror732. Says that, he thinks that Joe Shane's now a mascot. And I guess if I was to rock with that, not a great mascot. Not a great mascot. But like, so for me, I look at this hire and I go, this hire makes all the sense in the world from the standpoint of we can't do any of the things that make you great at this position or supposedly great at this position because you played the game. Because we don't have enough evidence that only people who play the game can do the job, right? Like when we talk about analysts and we talk about like analyzing football, I think there is an inherent advantage that somebody who played the game has when it comes to the job, right? We're just talking about analyzing, right? Play breakdown, personnel breakdown, looking at the tendencies, at the strengths, whatever it might be. Like there is a world, right? There is a world where, like, in order to be an analyst, one could argue you should have experience. One could argue, but we're seeing people get into that analyst role, and those people are not they're not guys or they're not women who have playing backgrounds, and they're doing good jobs, but they're never better than the people who have playing backgrounds. That is not the case when it comes to these front office jobs. In these front office jobs, right? In these front office jobs, the opportunity to be great has nothing to do with your like with whether you played or not. Like the best GMs in the league are not the ones that play. The best analysts in any sport, they come from the guys and girls who have experience playing the game. It just is what it is, right? So you're not saying that they can't do it if they didn't. We're just saying that we see the zenith of that job, and the zenith is, did you play the game? Do you have some practical experience? That's not the case when it comes to these GM jobs. So I love that the Giants hired a woman who has been able to ascend the same way that her white male counterparts have been able to ascend that position. Parham says Joe Shane's job is to ride out his last year on his contract to make way for Brandon Brown. We'll see. But if Brandon Brown takes the job, now it seems as if he's taking a powerless job. Why would Brandon Brown want that job? Why would he want a powerless job? Unless the structure is going to change again once Brown is in place. I'm down for it. I like Brown. In your best educated estimation, coach, what do you see happening a year from now in the front office? Great question. As my camera does some really weird stuff. Come back to me, camera. Right? I can see in the next year Joe Shane not being a part of this team anymore. I think that part of him still being here is that he probably threw Dable under the bus when it was time, when somebody came to them and said, hey, we're going to have to make a move. Like, we're going to have to throw some chum in the water so that the Sharks can be satisfied. I think that he threw Brian Dable in the water. That's just the truth. I think that what we do have is we have, and shout out to Off Broadway. What I think the Giants have is, I think that they have a core of people on the inside. I think they have a core of people on the inside that really understand their roles. So I don't think it's a situation where if you got rid of the GM, you would have to bring in an entirely new, like, foundational structure to support that new GM. I think that the foundational structure for that GM is already in place. Hey, come back, camera, come back. Over here, baby. It is some strange dealings going on in here right now. It's making, like I said, it's making all of the equipment and everything kind of go haywire. But we're gonna work. We're gonna work. Yeah. So I think that we look at these things and go, like, how does this help the team? So I want to tell you how I think this helps the team. I don't think Joe Shane is really good at, like, negotiating. I think he knows his stuff, but I think there's just something about the way in which he talks to these free agents that rubs them the wrong way. I think there's a certain way that he talks to these guys when it's time to renegotiate, try to re-up, that rubs them the wrong way. I've got no evidence of this because I'm not in the room. But what I do have is his conversations, or the lack of conversations, that were happening right in 2022, right? Or 2023, 2022, when there was a situation where you want to get Saquon Barkley back in the fold, where there's a situation where you want to get Barkley back in the fold, right? But then you also want to get Xavier McKinney back in the fold. And you're not able to do any of that. You want to get Julian Love back in the fold. You're not able to do any of that. None of the things, like, those guys Like not the big money guys that are just going to re-sign because, you know, it just makes financial sense for them to re-sign. Like those guys are easy. It's easy to get, you know, Dexter Lawrence to sign $100 million contract. It's easy to get the major players to sign big giant contracts. What's not easy, what is counteractive, when you don't know how to talk to people, when you don't know how to communicate people's worth, what's not easy is to get Xavier McKinney to come back for the number that you want that person to come back for, right? It's trying to get Julian Love to come back and understand the understand the value of them staying with your team instead of going with another team, right? Like there's a lot of things that could happen, but the one of the geniuses of good GMs, good VPs, good front office personnel is that they figure out a way for you to feel valuable, right? For you to feel valuable without like for you to feel valuable without like getting the same type of money. And shout out to Iman Perry. He's saying that they could have gotten more money. They could have, but they would have had to wait until they were free agents, right? He signed those guys. Those guys got signed. Dexter Lawrence and Andrew Thomas. They were signed while still on their rookie deals. They weren't signed where they were able to get to the open market. So they got the money that they could at the time that they got it so that they could get back to free agency or at least get back to a third contract as fast as possible. So like, yeah, they did quote unquote team friendly deals and then a year later had to restructure them in order to make more money. So the players are doing their jobs as far as wanting to do, but what is the GM doing to show them or show the other people that it's worth it, right? Showing that it's worth it. That's the part that I'm not exactly sure of. And I think that that's a part of why Joe Schoen has failed as a GM so far, is because I don't know how good he is at building those relationships. I don't know how good he is at building those relationships. I wish I did. I wish I had more. I just know he wasn't very good at building that bridge with Saquon Barkley. He wasn't that good with building that bridge with McKinney. He wasn't that good with building that bridge with Love. He essentially gave up on Leonard Williams and got back a ham sandwich that everybody applauded him for. And now Leonard Williams is a key to a defense that's in the Super Bowl. Julian Love is a key to a defense that's in the Super Bowl. Right? So to me, so hiring Dawn Aponte, right, can allow the Giants to have somebody who may have a different approach, right? Who may be able to get them to be more understandable, amenable about the feelings of these players and what they have going on in those situations, so that they can better serve, right? And so, like, if Aponte, who has all the experience in the world when it comes to contracts, has all the experience in the world when it comes to managing the salary cap, which is what we thought what we thought Joe Schoen was going to be really good at, and we haven't seen that come to fruition, right? Like, if that's what it is, then we should feel good about her being able to have maybe a different approach with these players. So I love that. I love getting another set of eyes on the salary cap so that hopefully she can have the success with opening up more cap space than what Joe Shane had or has had. Like nothing's perfect, but maybe a different set of eyes, they see things. I also like the fact that they worked together when they were down in Miami. So, like, he's familiar with her, she's familiar with him. Like, I think those things will fly. And again, I don't think it's a bad thing to get a female's touch in that, in that negotiating room to get a different ideology and maybe a different opinion, a different set of eyes, a different person to talk in those negotiating rooms. There are some guys on this team that the New York Giants will need to bring back if they want to be successful. There are some guys on this team that the New York Giants are going to have to convince to take less money than they may get on the open market, right? And maybe she will give them the opportunity to do that. To me, that's a win that not many people are talking about. Right? Now, I've heard people talk about, well, her previous teams haven't been good. They don't need her to identify talent. They need her to help retain the talent, and they need her to help open up money to be able to go and get the talent. They don't need her for talent evaluation. I don't think that's what she's here for. Right? Like, I don't think she's here to break down the film and to say, hey, this person, yeah, we should bring that person in. That person we could let. I don't think that's going to be her role. And not even necessarily that she can't do it, but why does she have to? Like, they've been doing a pretty darn good job of identifying, right? Of identifying talent. They've been doing a good job of identifying the type of talent that they want on their team. The question then becomes, can they get that talent to a second and third contract? Right? Hey, shout out to Larry Thomas. Could it be he asked for her? They let go Abrams. Abrams wasn't giant guy that wasn't happy with the GM. Okay. It could be that it could be that Joe Shane asked for her. Right? It could be. But that doesn't change anything that I just said. Right? Because if he did, then that's taking more off his plate. And I'm just wondering why is he here? Right? If you need more help, then I digress though. If it is a situation where he says, hey, like, I want this person, great. It's still, she can do this, he can do that. Everybody wins, hopefully. But again, when people bring up like the records of her previous stops and the rosters of her previous stops, I don't care about the talent because she's not here to do talent evaluation. At least in my mind, that's not what she's here for. So then I asked another question. Why is she here? Who is in the front offices at the NFL who decide that they want to leave the front office in the NFL where you don't get fired when the teams don't perform well, right? At the NFL offices, you don't get fired when the Giants go 2-15. You don't get fired for that. So like I'm almost wondering, like, what was her purpose for leaving the NFL offices to come back to a singular team, to a particular team? Like, what was the thought process behind that? Why did she feel as if that was the way she wanted to go? Like, I hope somebody asks her that question, because I'm really curious to know what went into the decision, to leave a place where I'm sure there were pressures, right? Like, I'm sure there was pressure, but the pressure wasn't for the team to win, and it was directly tied to your job if they didn't. So what made her, did she get to a level at the NFL offices and she felt like, okay, I'm never getting beyond this level? Like, because that's a real thing. When you're talking about any business, you have to know when you have reached your ceiling at a place. And if you reach your ceiling at a place, then it's time to move on. Did she feel that way? Did she feel as if it was time to move on because she could not get any further up the ladder than where she was? I'm legitimately curious as to whether or not that is the case, right? And if it is the case, then I have a very interest, like, why? Like, why was there a cap? Like, why hasn't this woman been named like a full-fledged, like the top of the food chain? She's been around for 30 years. She's seen everything, right? She's seen everything. She's done everything. Why is she not? So that's where I was as well. But again, a great strategic move by the Giants, if that is what they intended. A great strategic move by the Giants if that's not what they intended. Like, if they just Forrest Gump into hiring a female executive, not thinking that it would take the attention off of Tish, then, like, hey, congratulations for their naivety. But yeah, right? Yeah. And so, like, I'm I'm with Jers. Like, I'm hoping that she comes in and works some salary cap wizardry, right? I hope she's able to presto magic and move some things around, right? I hope that she presto changos, moves some things around, and gets the salary cap to a workable level, where, where they can start willing and dealing at the level of others. Like, they can start willing and dealing the way that others around the league have been able to will and deal. Like, that's what I hope. That's what I hope. Robert says she hit the glass ceiling in a male-dominated environment. Hopefully, this is a step-up position, and money-wise. Hey, you know what? It could be. I don't know exactly what her day-to-day was with the NFL. Right? I would love to sit down. Right? And have a conversation with Dawn Aponte about, hey, what were you doing at the NFL offices? And why did you think, oh, it was time to move away from the NFL offices? I would love to know that. That would be a great thing for me to like understand. Like, really, legitimately. So, like, yeah, I love it. Shout out to the Big Moo. Big Moo, you always join. We appreciate it. But Kevin Abrams, who is Kevin Abrams? Oh. Yeah, and Iman, I agree, man. The play for the Giants to have a Super Bowl caliber, championship level defense was right there. It was so close, right? Because imagine if you have, man, it's hard to even look up. Like Justin Jefferson just walked by. He got all the jewelry on. All I see is like diamonds and gold. It's tough out here, my friends. I am not dressed like that. I do not have those diamonds and gold. But like the play was in, man. You know, if you think about it, they brought in Bobby Okereke, but they never like imagine Okereke and Love and McKinney, right? Along with Dex, and then adding these edge prospects in, like all of that put into the gumbo. All of that, if you would have just like stir it up, drop it in, how fantastic would that have been? But that was a lost cause. So now with what we have, with what's in place, what do you do, right? What do you do to like put this in the light that's necessary in order for your team to have success beyond what they've had? And I think the first thing you've got to do is get the salary cap into a place where you're not trying to rob Peter to pay Paul all the time. Like, this salary cap is so big. Where's the excess money at? Right? Where's the excess money at? So I'm really looking forward to seeing if that's the case. And I hope that when some members of the local media get an opportunity to sit down or talk to her, that they start asking like questions based off of why, like what got her here? Why does she want this opportunity? What excites her about being a part of this organization? And where does she legitimately believe this organization has a chance to go? I'm really excited to see what happens. I'm really like happy. I'm really happy for her. I'm really happy for women at large that you keep seeing more women get these opportunities at front office jobs, like with teams where there's decision making to be done, right? And not just, oh, you're here just to be here. So I hope that there's legitimate decision making for her to be able to do. We shall see, right? We shall see. It's been crazy here. Like, you guys can just see behind me from people that are just walking by and stopping right in the camera. It's who's who of football rolling through left and right. Bryce Young just went by. I just said just I apologize about my signal if the signal is going out a little bit. Hopefully you guys still hear me, but like it was really important for me to be live, right? It was really important for me to be live so that you guys had a chance to like, you know, see what's popping over here. I appreciate y'all. Hey, Off Broadway, appreciate you for throwing that super chat in there. Anybody that want to help me fund this trip, I greatly appreciate it. If y'all want to, drop a little something in the super chat, I wouldn't mind that at all. But yeah, like this thing is always fun, man. It's always fun. It's always refreshing when we get news in the off season and I get a chance to come and talk to you about it in real time. Yesterday in real time, we got to talk about the offensive coordinator. Today in real time, we get to talk about the new senior VP of football operations. I find all of that to be fly. Hey, my home girl, my people's behind me, Kendall Valenzuela. Kendall, Wave to the Giants people.
Hi guys. Oh my gosh, you have the best people that watch your show.
I know that.
I do. I'm in the chats and I'm like, oh, they love him.
I
We have to.
clock that.
We have to.
That's my girl. That's my girl. No, like for real, y'all are the best. Every time I go live, every time there's an opportunity, like we're gonna have a good conversation. There's gonna be a good chat. I appreciate you guys who question, who don't always agree, because that's not necessary for us to be, for us to have great dialogue. We don't always have to agree. We don't always have to see things eye to eye. I just hope that, as always, you guys appreciate that the perspective that I bring is just not one where it's a rubber stamp for everything that goes on, or it's an automatic diss for everything that goes on. I'm really excited about what Dawn Aponte will be able to do, in this role. Like, I'm really excited about what she brings to the table, and her skill set, what she's made her name on. And now I just want to know, I just my own selfish reasons, I want to know why, and then I want to know what it's going to look like on a regular basis. As always, ladies and gentlemen, go over to the New York Giants on SI YouTube. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit the like. Make sure you hit the notifications bell. Off topic excellence Punta Cana is nice. Yep, I enjoyed my time at Excellence Punta Cana. I ate everything known to man. I drank everything but the pool water. I danced, I sang karaoke, I met great people. It was an absolute wonderful. I didn't leave the resort. Some people left the resort, they went out to other places. I didn't even leave the resort. I was just there to max out and have a good time, man. It was fantastic. So I'm looking forward to my next one for sure. Absolutely, for sure. Make sure you go over to the New York Giants on SI page. Check out everything we've got dropping over there. I appreciate you, Jers. 732. Hit me with the super chat. You the man. Like I really do think if you go over there and check out everything that we have, if you've been with me for some years, we really do get busy in the off season. Like once we hit the off season, like the amount of content that gets dropped from me is ridiculous. If you're just counting last month was 23 pieces. Like 23 things that I dropped, not including podcasts, not including anything, just as far as writing over at the New York Giants on SI. So make sure you go over there and check out everything that we're doing over there. And if you want to, go to my own personal YouTube at Coach Gene Clemons. Hit a subscribe over there. Give me some likes. I always appreciate it, man. It's fine. It is an absolute madhouse. It's like a rush hour traffic right now over here. Just people everywhere trying to talk to people everywhere who are trying to talk to people that don't want to talk to them. Did I make sense right there? People everywhere trying to talk to people everywhere who are trying to talk to people who don't want to talk to them. It's like people are here to be seen, but only by certain people, right? Like, hey, I'll sit down with you. Like, what's your publication again? Sadness. I don't like it. But we will venture on. I haven't told y'all about any of the night stuff that I've done. Maybe somewhere towards the end of the week or the weekend, I'll tell you about some of my night escapades as we, close out the week. But I'm going to get off here because, again, I need to be one of those people who are talking to people who may not want to talk to me, but I'm going to try to talk to them anyway, right? That's what we're here for. Got to maximize the trip. Until next time, I am Coach Gene Clemons. and I have a giant issue.